gotta be kidding me. Right now? There's so many other things to read. I can't do anything about it. Ladies and gentlemen, the big one. I'm reading all of Demon Slayer in a week. Let's do this. Now, as of recording this section, I was bored and I already read these 4. So, that's a couple of chapters done. And I'll show you on screen how many I have left. This is gonna be fun. As of reading this section right here, I was reading Volume 5, Chapter 35. And this chapter is right in the middle of the Spider arc, which is personally one of my favorite early arcs. So, this was really fun for me to just go back and read just a little bit of it. I do think by far the best way to consume the Demon Slayer story is watching the anime, because this does not compare to this. It is now day 2, and I don't feel like bringing a volume of Demon Slayer to school, so I'm going to have to read a ton when I get home. Yippee! So here in this little section, I was reading the first chapter in Volume 6, which is Chapter 44, and this pretty much wraps up the Spider arc, which I'm kind of sad about because I love the Spider arc. I wish it was just like a teensy bit longer, but we make do with what we can. So, in this section right here, I was reading the first chapter of Volume 7, which was Chapter 53, and this pretty much wraps up the training arc Tanjiro and them go through before the Mugen Train, which, Mugen Train, not the greatest, in my opinion. I think all of the other arcs are really better, but it's whatever. So right here was Chapter 62 in Volume 8, which wraps up the Mugen Train arc. It makes our boy Rengoku a donut, which I still kind of make fun about it because, yeah, he's a donut.
If it were not against my orders, so you, little brat, be grateful. You've got nerve.
So, right here was the beginning of, like, the real storytelling that Gyota Koge was really trying to set up. Because these earlier arcs, they didn't have the strongest story, but Volume 9 and on, amazing. So, in this little section, I was reading Chapter 71 in Volume 9, which pretty much starts the Entertainment District, which was one of my favorite arcs in all of Demon Slayer. So, I really liked being able to go back and just reread this arc. Holy peak. Volume 10 is basically in the middle of the Entertainment District arc. To be specific, I was reading Chapter 80, and oh my god, this is when Tanjiro starts fighting Daki, and I really like this fight, even though Daki sucks a lot. And at the end of this volume, her brother, Gyutaro, gets introduced. And if you know anything about the Entertainment District, it's that Gyutaro is the real Upper Six. So, yeah. So, right here, I was reading Volume 11, Chapter 89, which this volume pretty much just ends the Entertainment District arc. This was a fairly decently long arc, and it's one of the best. If you haven't watched it or read it, you probably should, but read and watch everything else first. Okay, so before I go on to this next one, do you remember this fight? Yeah, see, that fight is 5 panels, and one of those panels is actually wasted on how Uzui's sound power works. Oh my god, it's Maritro! Shut the fuck up. So, right here, I was reading Volume 12, Chapter 98, which, in this chapter, it's, the Upper Moons coming together and having a conversation with Muzan, being like, hey, it's been centuries, and one of the Upper Eggs has fallen. So, yeah, and the rest of this is beginning, probably one of my least favorite arcs, but it has Mitsuri in it, which makes it better. The, Swordsmith Village arc, which, now that I look at it, it really isn't that bad. Alright, Volume 13, Chapter 107. This volume is so good. It has Zohaku Ten in it. It has, I think it has, what was it called? Sun Halo Dragon Head Dance. I did read this, I just already forgot. So, I'm really excited to read everything going forward. Alright, Volume 14, Chapter 116. I was wrong. Volume 13 did not have Zohaku Ten in it. I'm dumb. I'm sorry. I got my voiceovers mixed up. But this volume kind of gets toward the end of Swordsmith Village, and I'm excited to read something that isn't Swordsmith Village, even though it actually was pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Right, so Volume 15, Chapter 125. This volume wraps up the Swordsmith Village arc, absolutely finishes it, and then it goes into the Hashira Training arc, which is my least favorite arc, I'm not gonna lie. All of these arcs are good, except not Swordsmith Village. Hashira Training is just my least favorite. But it's something other than Swordsmith Village.
My dudes.
So, before I get into this segment, I really want to emphasize on the fact that from now until the end of the challenge, I'm only going to be reading 3 volumes, or else I would have finished Demon Slayer tomorrow. So, just have that in mind. So, in this segment, I was reading Volume 16, Chapter 134, which this chapter is basically right where the Hashira Training arc finishes, and the chapter after this, a couple chapters after this, Master Kaguya just, explodes, and we get sent to the the Infinity Castle, which I love. It's my favorite arc. So right here, I was reading Volume 17, Chapter 143. This is a pretty sad chapter because Shinobu dies, and let me tell you, dude, I love Shinobu. She's fucking awesome in my opinion. But we also get to see Kaigaku versus Zenitsu, which is one of my favorite Demon Slayer fights ever, because of just, how one-sided it is, which is just fucking awesome. And now time for my favorite Demon Slayer fight. This chapter in Volume 18, 152, is in the middle of my favorite Demon Slayer fight, and that fight is Akaza versus Tanjiro and Giyu. Holy fucking shit, this fight is so peak. Oh my... Kaharu Gyotakoge wrote this fight so perfectly, and I'm just so glad that it exists. Thank you, Gyotakoge, for making this fight. So, right here, I was reading Volume 19, Chapter 161. This is the chapter that kind of ends the fight between Inosuke, Kanao, and Doma, which again, is another one of my favorite fights in Demon Slayer because it's really good. I really cannot wait for this to be fully animated. So, yeah. Right here was Volume 20, Chapter 170, which is right before the end of the Kokoshibo versus Sanemi, Gyome, Morichiro, and Genya fight, which is another one of the greatest Demon Slayer fights ever, like, no doubt about it, because Kokoshibo is so cool, and the fact that he went up against 3 of the coolest Hashira is just crazy. Alright, right here was one of the last 3 Demon Slayer volumes, Volume 21, Chapter 179. This is right after the Kokoshibo versus Sanemi, Gyome, Morichiro, and Genya. And I kind of cried during this fight because Genya and Morichiro die, which I'm really sad about. Okay, now that it's day 6, I'm actually only going to read 1 volume a day until I finish the series. So, let's just enjoy these last 2 volumes. So, second to last day, second to last volume, I was reading in this clip chapter 188. In this one, we see part of the fight between Muzan and the Hashira. Specifically when Mitsuri gets slashed, and then we just get to see Igro's backstory, which I think is cool because up until I saw his backstory, I didn't like him very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the final volume, Volume 23, Chapter 197. In this chapter, it kind of just shows the ending, well, not the entire ending of the Muzan fight, but some of it. And I just love it. It's amazing. So, yeah. So, what you're seeing now is some panels from each volume that I really liked. And if you liked this video, please like and subscribe. But before you go, I just wanted to say a couple things. First, thanks for 167 subscribers. So thank you for that. And my favorite characters of this didn't change much. My favorite Demon Slayer, of course, is still Giyu. My favorite demon is now Kokoshibo. My favorite side character is definitely Yoriichi. My favorite character from the Kamaboko squad is definitely Genya. So, thank you. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a wonderful day. So, please like and subscribe. See ya.